Democrat candidates in the California governor's race are still trying to blame Donald Trump for the failures of California, and the other candidates are just not having it.
Mr. Hilton, go ahead.
It's not Donald Trump who's given us gas prices $2 higher than the rest of the country. It's Democrat policies, which Antonia and all the Democrats here support. It's not Donald Trump that's given us the highest housing costs in the country. It's Democrat policies that all these Democrats support. Donald Trump is the president in all the other states of America where the cost of living is way lower than in California. Obviously, it is way past time for change in California, and endlessly going on about Donald Trump doesn't serve the needs of the struggling families and small businesses.
Can you say whether or not...
The Democrats want you to think Trump is the problem, because if you think he is, then you won't expect them to fix anything, because you'll believe that as long as Trump is in power, they can't. That way, they can keep doing more of the same. And you'll think that the reason the cost of living is so high, or that the gas prices are so high, or that there's homeless encampments and drugs everywhere is because of something that is completely out of their control. They can keep asking you for millions of dollars while they waste it, and then say that the reason that the problem isn't fixed is because of the big bad orange man. And that way, you'll keep giving them money and you'll keep putting them in power. They know Trump isn't the problem, but they want you to believe that he is, because if you think they're the problem, you'll expect them to do better, and they don't want to. There's more money to be made for them if the problems continue. As Steve Hilton said, Trump is the president of all 50 states, but these problems are unique to California and a lot of blue states. There are plenty of other states that don't have the problems that California has, and that's because it's up to the governor and local leaders, not the president.
That highlighted your opponent here, Congresswoman.
It is really pathetic to see these people play this game. Before Trump came in, a lot of people were complaining about California, governors and this, that. But these people still have the guts to blame Trump. If you take a look at this was painful to watch. Democrat Katie Porter nearly breaks down in tears on the debate stage after CNN Kathleen Collins confront her with her own profanity-laced video of her about her staffers. Colin brought it up twice in just a few minutes, and her reactions tells you everything you need to know. A few days ago, she released an ad and went off on the president. This question came up. You know, when I look at this woman, in fact, this is the most unlikable person I've ever seen running a race. Nobody likes her. That is just a simple truth from my observations, what I've seen.
If the state is failed, if the education system has failed, if it's an affordability crisis, if we're only one of 5 states where people are actually leaving instead of going into, if you have all these problems, is it a good idea to have one-party rule for so long? And Hilton, I think, has articulated that. I asked him yesterday, is it possible for a Republican to get elected governor of California? He has a way to lay out the math that shows, yes, you could attract independents and even some disaffected Democrats who are sort of fed up with the fact that they live in a state that's beautiful and has all these things going for it, but has been so mismanaged that people hate living here so much that they're fleeing to Miami and other places. And, watching this debate tonight, watching Democrats argue with each other about how to raise more taxes, how to further ruin health care, how to let in more illegals, it makes you believe that someone like Steve Hilton, if you just articulate the right questions, sometimes that can get you pretty far in a campaign.
Scott. The only way a Republican wins in California if it's somehow out of this crazy jungle primary, 2 Republicans make it. But if there is one Democrat against Steve Hilton, whether it's Tom Steyer, whether it's Xavier Becerra, that Democrat is going to win.
And my response to that is, you're probably right. But my question is that a good thing? Is it a good thing for California to continue to just vote for the same party that has created all these problems that everyone seems to agree do exist?
I can't believe that on a stage with 30 minutes of interrupting and bickering and name-calling and shouting and disrespect for everyone up here who's stepping into public service, that anyone wants to talk about my temperament.
You were actually interrupting them, too. I don't know why you want to act like you weren't.
Oh, cowboy cupcakes.
Steve and I sat here smiling at each other because we're just watching you all prove to everyone why they can't vote for a Democrat.
Everybody knows the outcome, how the result will be. It's not like something Scott is debating, but it is extremely bad. You can't be running in an election knowing fully well that these people, no matter bad how they are, they will still vote them. It's like you're just wasting your time, right? At some point, when I look at this debate here and there, maybe it's just for formality. Because these people, I don't know how some can be brainwashed to a level that they don't want to test new people. They should test the other party and see if things will be better for them. This other question surfaced to Katie Porter.
That highlighted your opponent here, Congresswoman Katie Porter, threatening to cut off an interview with a reporter. That came after a video surfaced of her berating a member of her staff. If a senior official in your government acted as she did in those videos, would you fire them?
Yes.
And you've put out an ad of your own, now making light of that interaction that you had with your
That's not
staffer,
correct, Caitlin.
which you said you apologized for.
That is not correct. The ad is about showing Californians what they've had a chance to see on this stage tonight and in every other debate stage that we've had, which is that I'm able to take responsibility, I'm able to follow the rules, I'm able to say I'm sorry, and I'm able to do better. Everybody in California had a chance to see me on stage with that reporter in the last debate and see exactly how I conducted myself. Californians can decide for themselves about my temperament based on what they've seen here tonight. And if these boys bullying and bickering hasn't been enough to raise questions about their temperament, I would really challenge that. I have taken responsibility at this point hundreds of times.
There is something about this lady that I really don't see it. If you look at the videos that surfaced a few months ago, where she was going off on staffers, doing this, talking about trans, a lot of this. And it blew up on social media. Even when a question surfaced to her about this topic, she ended that interview. She could not continue with that interview. That was just something I noticed. She could still not control her temper. Now she is here pretending like she's now doing this, is doing that. There is some kind of habit in people that cannot change, no matter how they pretend. Her standing here saying things like this is just to deceive people. Yeah, and people knows her for who she is. It will be extremely difficult to convince someone like this lady will ever change. I understand people can change sometimes, but looking at her, the way she responds to questions, if not of a debate, she will not even respond to these questions.
Congresswoman Porter, you recently put out an email, a fundraising email, with the subject line, F Trump. And you're not censoring it like I am right now. And you went on to say, quote, "That's right, F Trump. Together we're going to kick in November." Will F Trump be your guiding principle in dealing with the president?
When Donald Trump hurts California, as he has again and again, then I will absolutely stand up to him. 100%. He has denied
I believe you've seen what I'm talking about. Someone like this should be struggling to win over Republicans. Some might like her, but instead you are putting her still going off on the president. The TDS in her can't stop. Putting out an ad. When I saw that on social media, people mock her, after that ad. It get crazy. I think I'm going to end here.
Incumbent members of the Indiana State Senate.
I think it's going to be close. That was always the expectation.
That candidate is leading in the other two.
I will appreciate you if you share this video. They hardly recommend videos on this channel. As of the short clips at the end, that is for what algorithm. You always keep. God bless you abundantly.
Eric Holder on that, not that many.
But right now, they are under threat. I think is damaging to Congress. Gerrymandering means citizens' voice in the Commonwealth. But for our gerrymandering and ensure that in the midterms, and we're counting on you to help in.
Good evening to you. Plus, creating a lot more
celebrating the win in yesterday's redistricting. It's going to lose their congressional representation. How do you think the people in the military know?
In support of that,
until the First Lady brought them back with her surprise statement last week.
How does this benefit?
I'm an actor.
I'm an actor.
Creative content.
Why are you not looking forward to the White House fight?
Well, it's kind of a gimmick.
I have 300.
Have you seen the stats from California?
Nobody wants President Newsom either.